I'm going to speak a little bit about dealing with unruly thoughts. You ever had any? It's a problem sometimes when we sit in meditation and our distractions are many and our focus is very weak. So the way that the teachings say to deal with unruly thoughts is not to block them, because if you block them, then it's sort of like kicking a dog that wants to attack you. And the more you kick, the more it wants to get at you. And so that only increases thoughts, blocking them or trying to get rid of them. Blocking them is actually worse than trying to get rid of them. If you try and keep them out all the time, like some people do, like some people, they think meditation is like watching the mind and make sure nothing gets in there. But nothing gets in, but you can't get out either. So you have a terrible situation where you can't expand your mind. You're like a guy worried about all of his wealth who leans against the door so the thief can't get in. So the thief can't get in, but he's stuck behind the door. So this kind of meditation is really stupid and common. So you don't want to try and block out thoughts, because even if you succeed, that's all you're doing. You're in a very negative state where no thoughts are arising, but there's no awakened awareness, joy, or happiness in your meditation. Now, the other one is you try and, once they get in, you try and kick them out. And this gets back to the dog. It's like trying to kick a mean dog away from you. And it just gets more angry the more you kick it. So you don't want to do that. So what to do? I'm going to give you an answer that I never heard any other meditation masters give, but it's a good analogy that I just thought of today. When the Buddha was passing away, his cousin Ananda asked the Buddha many questions, and one of the questions was what to do with unruly bhikshus, and unruly monks. So the Buddha replied, ignore them. So that's how you deal with thoughts. And basically, it's not as difficult as it may seem to you. Ignoring thoughts in the sense that I'm speaking about is actually a very advanced and very famous form of meditation that the Kagyu lineage is most noted for and have developed incredibly well. There's a very good book if you ever want to read about this practice of Mahamudra. It's called Mahamudra, the Quintessence of Mind and Meditation. And there's a lot of details, which I'm not going to go into, which have to do with breath awareness and so forth, and different modes of breathing and uniting breath with the mantras and stuff, or if you're not reciting mantra, even how to unite the breath with the energy currents in the body and so forth. But in simple terms, basically what ignoring thoughts means, it's sort of like Mahamudra practice. When we view thoughts as something that's like arises, and understand that it arises because of latencies, past tendencies. They're there, and you can't deny them. You've had we've all had the experiences we've had. These have left imprints in our mind, and these imprints are there. That's the way it is. Everything we do leaves some kind of impression. And so when we sit in meditation, they have every right to our mind as our focus, our meditation topic. To them, they're just as important as the meditation topic, and they arise. And actually, if we really practice well and develop the skill in ignoring the thoughts rather than kicking them out or blocking them out, but just watching them, kind of like a person, like being in the corner of your mind and watching what's there. But when something comes, not like the cat and mouse game that the Zen masters talk about, don't pounce on it, let it go. Be a good cat, let your thoughts go. And if we develop some skill in not developing or elaborating on thoughts as they arise in our mind and try and distract us, we will notice that if we just ignore them, like the Buddha said to ignore the unruly bhikshus, if we ignore them, they dissolve of their own accord. They kind of don't have any real power. So every thought that arises in the mind has a seed for its own destruction within it. So let thoughts self-destruct. Let them take care of their own, self. Don't elaborate on them and give them reason to be. If we do not conceptually elaborate on things that come in our mind, they will arise and dissolve of themselves, and that's what we want to do. We want to allow meditation to unfold and not try and do meditation or force meditation. Just sit quietly and let the mind be in its natural state. And that includes the distracting in thoughts. They will gradually subside of their own if you let them, if you can stay out of the way. And that's it. That's where it's at. So, goodbye for today. I hope this makes sense to me.